Hey guys, wanted to go ahead and do a review of the Mackie MP-240. I was actually curious about these because these came about 5 years ago. I was curious as to how they sound. There's not a lot of information on there. And there is one video by a lady, but then she doesn't really describe how it sounds. She's just like, oh, it sounds great. And then it's like, and just like nothing else. And then there's like an instrument guy. He's like, it sounds pretty good, but I don't know. This is my first thing. And I came back from, I guess this guy used to use like really cheapy KZ whatever pros. And so it's kind of like, that's not really good context. That's kind of like, it's like the difference between like no toilet paper and some toilet paper. It's like, oh, that's better. You know what I mean? And then the other one was literally a kid. Like, I'm not even talking, like a literal kid. And he's like, yeah, this sounds great. And blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, yeah, but how does it sound, buddy? You're not telling me how it sounds. So I'm going to tell you how this sounds, at least from my perspective. I could be wrong, whatever, but at least I just have I'll tell you how I think it sounds. Okay, so basically, my first impressions, when it first came in, right, it came with the stock ear tips right on there, smack dab right on there, right? And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to try this out. And, oh, did you see that? Did you just see what I just did? That was like, it just fell right out. And that's gonna be a point later on I want to bring up later on. Anyway, that is a point that I got to bring up. But anyway, so what I do is I say, let's go for it. So there's this song. It's called Weekends by BB. This is my compass. This is my map. Every time I get a new IEM, that's my map. It lets me know where are we? Because I just listen to the first 3 seconds to get a sense of where the bass is. Because it goes boom, 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 and right away I'll know like what kind of bass that is, and if something is off, if it's too bassy or it's weak bass or it's just like nothing there, like I know if something's off. So, but as I'm wearing this, I say there's seal issues. I can already feel air leaking in. So obviously this is not the right tip to be using, but I'm going to talk about how there's a problem here, and I'll tell you. Anyway, I listened to BB the first 3 seconds. The bass is punchy and it's clean. And her voice is like a half a pitch lower, as in she's a little bit huskier and deeper than she should sound. And I said the vocals they're full and rich, but the shimmer in her voice is just slightly dulled. And I said, oh, that's an interesting start. And then what I do is I check the next song and this song, because I've been using it as a reference, it's become a reference, but it's a Justin Bieber song. They never running low on supplies. I say his voice sounds just about right, but it's about half a pitch lower. That means his voice is starting to sound a little bit deeper. And I say it's not a deal breaker, but just something odd. And then I say cable issues. This stock cable is terrible. The IEMs keep falling off, but dude, it would literally, maybe I got a faulty unit, it would literally buzz when like zzz, 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 zzz. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This is like buzzing on me. And so what I did was I took it off and I used a third-party MMCX Zomber cable, which it's not the best cable too. I mean, that's got problems too, but like at least it doesn't buzz around. So it wasn't buzzing. And so there was that. And then I just did a quick price check, just to see. And I say, okay, so there's about $199. But as I'm listening, I'm saying, you know what this reminds you of when I was listening to it with these particular ear tips? I said, it reminds me of the Zigot Lush, but the Zigot Lush kind of beats this. You know what I mean? Like, because this is like 199, this is like 160 or so, but I actually think the Zigot Lush kind of beats it, but they kind of have a similar tonality with these ear tips, okay? But remember, this is important. I am getting this kind of sound, but I don't have a good seal on my ears at this point, okay? And I will get to this, and this is where things get kind of interesting. Okay, so I'm listening, and like I go, let's go check out Genevieve. I'm checking out songs by Genevieve. Her voice is spot on. It's full and it's accurate. And I'm like, dude, this gives me Zigot Lush vibes. This is a different IEM, but with a little bit more brightness. It's almost like a Zigot Lush with spring tips. And I said, it's better than some of the recent Chi-Fi sets I've been testing. And at this point, I'm like almost ready to keep it. But I'm like, you know what? I need to test this song. Let's test out the sub bass. So there's this song called Tinted by Wolf Tila, where in the song it goes broom, 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 like it's got sub bass in it. Just me and you, all tinted in the coop. So I'm playing the track, and I notice there's no sub bass in it. It's like very little. It's like the subwoofer effect is missing, right? And I'm like, okay, you know what I gotta do? It's because I don't have a good seal on these ear tips. I gotta swap ear tips. And then shit goes bad from here. And I'll explain what goes wrong. So these are all the various different ear tip configurations I did. I tried Dunu SSS. I tried Final Audio E. I tried Clarion. I tried Tang Senkai ear tips. And I tried all of their stock tips. So there is a weird phenomenon that happens here. What happens is this, and this is why this is a deal breaker for me, at least for my ears. When I don't get a good seal on this, then the voices sound correct and the bass punch sounds correct, but you get no sub bass. But more importantly, you're not getting a good seal in, which totally defeats the purpose of monitoring, right? Because musicians need to use this where there's music and guitars and everything, and if you can't get a good seal, that's not good. But here's what happens. The moment you get a good, like one of these, any of these, the moment you get a good seal in, dude, the bass gets so fucking crazy. Like, I'm like, dude, it's like bass overload. Still too much bass. Like, just bass insane in a bad way. Still bass. It's just way, way, way too bassy. This is not neutral. Now, I'm not evaluating this on how good it sounds. I'm evaluating it on how, like, neutral and accurate this is. It is not accurate. And so at that point, I'm like, dude, that's bad. Because at least when it wasn't a full seal, it was pretty neutral. But now when you basically get a full seal in, dude, the bass is like insane. And so basically what I said is, my final thoughts are, when you don't get a good seal, the vocals sound correct, but then you lose bass. But then when you do get a good seal, the bass is overwhelming and muddy. It's like, what I would notice is like, it would drown out the voices. The singers would sound like they're singing under a blanket. It's just so bad on bass, in my opinion. And I tried everything. I tried every single thing to make it work, and it wasn't working. And not only that, the cable actually would literally buzz. You know what I mean? So, this is too bassy, and it's not neutral enough. And this is not reliable for stage monitoring. I would not, because this will fall out on you, or it'll buzz on you, or you're not gonna get a good seal. I just can't vouch for this. So this is going back to Whole Foods. And so that's my 2 cents. Overall take, I know that there are current reviews out there, and many of them don't say a whole lot. My 2 cents is this is a bassy set. It's very, very bassy. Vocals do sound correct. Voices do sound correct, but it's way too bassy. So that's my 2 cents.